Okay, a little bit of a different flavour on this video. We're on a farm stay. My family and I have ventured out into the back blocks of Tooleybuc, and that's about, 40k from Swan Hill in New South Wales, just over the border from Swan Hill. So I've got a local farmer with me today. It was a guy I was fortunate enough to play a bit of AFL footy with back in the day. Peter Best, welcome Peter.
Thank you, John. Welcome to Goodnight.
Yes, and it's been a pleasure, and the kids have loved it. They don't want to go home. But any case, we want to talk about, first of all, Tooleybuc and what is Tooleybuc. So it's about a population of 300 people. There's not a lot of data on Tooleybuc because of the lack of sales in the town. However, an example of property that's been bought and sold, probably some 10 years ago, property was worth about 150 grand. Today it's probably doubled in that time, and the vacancy rates are pretty much zero. So even in towns that like 300 people, as I spoke about with the smaller town of Mawala, if there's enough there to generate some industry, then there'll be some demand. So anyway, we want to talk a bit of agriculture today with Peter. He's been farming, generations have been here for over 100 years, haven't they?
That's correct. Yeah, 114 years our family's been on this farm.
Amazing stuff. So there's plenty of history, plenty of stories to tell. But we want to talk about, I suppose, agricultural land and how we can relate that back to residential. So can you just give us I suppose, the last 5 years in perspective as to what it's done from a dollar per hectare point of view?
Well, I think if you look at across the board in terms of farming land in Australia, the last 5 years, it's the values has increased markedly, driven mostly by good commodity prices, reasonable seasons in certain places, and just low interest rates. But more specifically, in this part of the world, we've seen corporate agriculture move in. There's been land's been transformed from traditional dry land, wheat, sheep, cropping country, and it's been converted to irrigated horticulture, and that's driven a lot of the increases in value around here. But that's also, there's only certain amount of land that can be converted. It's got to be close to a water source, and it's got to be the right soil type. So for those premium soil types and those premium areas, yeah, we've seen a marked increase in value. Sometimes 3-4 times the going rate of dry land prices.
Wow. Yeah. So it's again supply and demand, isn't it? So you've had a lot of internationals express interest in buying up land, and they feel that Australia is a better country to buy or invest their funds in versus the country that they're in. Example of that is America. But you talked about the premium country, and you've got a mixture of both, I suppose, dry land agriculture versus what we call irrigated land. So let's talk about maybe the difference in those two.
Well, I suppose dry land is just land that you farm using the water sources, the natural rainfall, whereas irrigated land is land that you can apply water to, and as a result your productivity is you're able to gain a lot more productivity off that land just simply because you can control water, which is the main limiting factor in our area.
So from a residential perspective, if we're relating that back, the irrigated land, there's only a certain amount of that. It's got to obviously be along a river or a lake or something that's got constant water supply. So it's like blue chip residential property in the sense that there's only so much of it. There's only so much beach there. If in the case of blue chip property in the capital city, irrigated land is somewhat similar. So that's obviously pushed the prices up in that respect. But in general, by the sounds of it, nothing's too much different to the residential space in the last 5 years. Prices have doubled, and money's cheap, and the demand is outweighing the supply, and the old saying they're not making any more land is definitely true. Even out in Goodnight, which is the property or area that you're in.
That's correct. Yeah, no, that's just again supply and demand driven by the availability of premium land, and that's again, that's the scarcity factor that's driving it.
Beautiful. There you go. All right, folks, as I said, a bit of a different flavour. Good to get a local legend on video today. That's our farm stay done and dusted. We're probably heading up to Mildura in the next few days, so following the Murray River along again. And yeah, look, sing out if you've got anything that you want us to talk about going forward. Ciao.